Hello, how's everyone doing? I'm back with a quick tip for making your own sketchbook. Um, I have been making my own sketchbooks and books for friends for a while now, at least a few years. I really like bookbinding, and I think it's a cool hobby on the side. I don't really do it unless I need to, though. And I needed a new, like, bigger kind of sketchbook. You know what I mean? I have my little handheld one that I take with me wherever I go, but then if I want a little bit bigger size to just work at from home that I don't do writing in, because my little Stalogy that I have. I write in that, and I write everything, like it has all the stuff for my life in there. But this is just for drawing and studying art and stuff like that. And so I just made a new one, and I thought about the thing that I do. It would be a very useful trick for anyone who's trying to bind their own books, but doesn't want to make it so complicated and have such a difficult time, because I see a lot of videos where people do bookbinding, and when they do the cover, there's chipboard and there's 3 pieces, and then you got to get the tape just right, and then when you glue it, there's going to be bubbles, you have to smooth it out, and then it's tough to get the corners just right, and then you have to glue the end pages on, and that can get messy, and it just makes it so much harder and so much more complicated and so much more difficult to get it like aligned and straight. I know from experience, because I've done that a bunch of times, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. So what I've been doing, and what I love just aesthetically as well, is composition sketchbooks. Um, I always thought that composition books should come with blank paper versions. They have the quad ruled, they have the normal wide ruled and college ruled. They should seriously consider doing one with blank pages for doodlers. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be pretty freaking awesome? And for hobbyists and scrapbookers and all those kinds of people, they could have all kinds of fun with that. I'm telling you, there's a wide market for that, but they don't. And I went to the Mead website to tell them, and their, idea center's all messed up, and I couldn't, anyways. So I just make my own. Um, the upside to this is you can choose your own quality paper. And the reason why I love to do this is because you have your cheap old composition book, right? With its cheap old paper. And all you gotta do is go in here, boop, boop. Let me get these two because I totally forgot. It's super easy, super straightforward. You pull this guy up, and bam, you have a book cover ready to go. Super simple. And if you want to do like I don't know, like an A5 size, and you want to make it thicker, all you got to do is just bend this where you want it and how big you want your spine to be. And then you put extra duct tape on the end, which you have to anyways, because you pop the sewing that you do out through here. But yeah, and that's it. It's just so much more straightforward, and you don't have to worry about the cover. And for me, I just always liked this composition book look. Something about this just seems so studious and old school and vintagey, and I always really liked it. So when I started doing these, I got super excited. I'm like, there's this stuff, and it has a spot on here where you can, catalog it, and you're ready to go. And it's a nice size to where you don't feel so intimidated about not being able to finish it. And that's the other thing, is you can choose how many sheets go in here. you know, and it'll just, I don't know, it's nice. It's a nice way to do it. So what I did, the paper that I use in here isn't what I'd call the best quality because I don't have, you know, that much money to go around getting the fanciest paper of all. So what I have is this, and this comes from the where is it? The Strathmore sketch pad, drawing pad. That's 18 by 24. I get a big one of those, and this one online, it says it's like about, oh, I don't know. It depends on how many sheets comes with it. At my local art store, they're like 26, 20, 24, 25, 26, somewhere in that range for one of these pads for with 50 sheets. And I get one of those, and I'll bend it right here down the middle and bend it like that, and then tear it, and then I'm left with a whole stack this size, and I bend it in the middle and fold it over, and that's what you have here. And this is 9 by 12, which, you know, it's bigger than the composition book, so that's the one thing, is you end up wasting like this much. But yeah, that is what it is. I had originally wanted to make a huge sketchbook and just bind it myself and make my own cover and all of that. So I had pre-lined and holed these, but yeah, I like this way better. It's just very convenient and portable to take around with me. So what I did is I followed how sketchbooks work. I just took these signatures and put them into each other until I had a good stack of like what do I have? 88 sheets? Yeah, I have 88 sheets in that the one that I just showed you guys. And I basically just went by how thick that compared to the paper, you know, chunk that was already in the comp book, because I didn't want to stretch its borders out too thin. So yeah, I just keep adding more and more in there until I have a nice good stack. And then I poke my holes all the way through. I think I did one. I know there's another one here. So 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. And I just pulled string, like a loop of string like this out through here, tied a knot, another loop of string out through these two, tied a knot, and then another loop of string out through here and tied a knot. I think there were 6 holes actually. And then I taped them down and I put some duct tape over it. And to make it more secure, I made the piece of duct tape that I put here, it was longer on the ends, so that when you open it, let me zoom in. You can't really see it because I have painted it, but you have a piece like this, and I cut it here and I cut it here. I flipped this side over on there, and I flipped this side over on there, and I was left with a little piece hanging out here, and I just bent this back and bent that in, and now I have this whole area here. Let me get the light on it. This whole area here is nice and secure with duct tape. So pretty stoked about that. And then I went ahead and I painted the inside covers with black acrylic, and it came out really nice and smooth actually. So Now, this paper is in Spanish. It's 70-pound paper, but hold on a second. 70-pound and 114 GSM. Medium textured surface. It's meant for like pencil, colored pencil, charcoal, sketching stick, maybe a little bit of pen. So it's not the most fantastic. But it gets the job done, and then it does take a light sort of amount of watercolor. I was messing around with it right here, and it did all right. These are with the Noodler's Conrad brush pen. It's like a fountain pen, and it refills like a fountain pen, and you use fountain pen ink in it. But it comes with a nice little brush tip, and I like this. I like this a lot, and it lasts me forever because you could just keep buying brush tip replacements, and this thing will just keep going forever. I just cleaned it out today and re-greased the piston, so I'm really excited about that. And yeah, and then I just used some regular watercolor here, and this is nothing really showed up on this side except for right here. The paint didn't do that. I put nail polish on top of this, just right here. Come on, focus. So I put nail polish on top of here just to see what would happen, and this area right here where I put nail polish, that's what ended up making that weird kind of thing happen there. Oh, come on, focus. So yeah, it's actually not that bad. So that's all you need is just comp books, and they come in all kinds of shapes and sizes and colors. You can just remove those hairs out of there. One thing I would recommend is I would paint this with a black acrylic or whatever you choose to do it with before you put this together, because this way you can reach all the way in here and you don't risk getting the paint on your papers when they're already in here. So yeah, again, for making your own sketchbooks, it doesn't even have to be a composition book. It can be some other kind of book that you don't care for the contents of, and just tear all that stuff out, and you can use this sort of skeleton and just stick your own paper in there. And you don't even have to make some kind of fancy binding. You can put like just a hole here, a hole here, and a hole here, you know, in all the little signatures. And if the binding is thicker, and you can have a bunch of them sticking out, and then you could do cool little designs with them, and it doesn't even have to be super professional, you know what I mean? But yeah, there's just a lot of ways you could go with this, and you don't have to stick with the pain in the butt of trying to make your own cover. And having it end up not coming out equal, which, God, if you knew how many times it has happened to me. Oh, yeah. Anyways, I really wish that they made blank paper versions of the composition book. I love this so much. Alright, thanks for listening, you guys. Have a good one. Till next time, bye.